let's continue with human geography. We finished population, we finished energy. Now I'll start with mining and minerals. Okay. Now we're doing mining and minerals. So in mining and minerals, uh, where are metallic minerals found? Like, what is the distribution of metallic minerals like? Metallic minerals are generally found in areas with strong tectonic activity. Metallic minerals are found in areas with strong tectonic activity. Okay, I'll just do this quickly. Advantages of thorium over uranium to answer a doubt was thorium gives better fuel performance, meaning better energy, better efficiency of energy, and so on. And thorium is also available more easily. Thorium abundance in India, in the world, is three times abundance of uranium. Particularly for India, India has control over 25% of world's thorium resources. So that way also thorium, if it can be used in an economical manner, then thorium is very advantageous for India as well. Okay. Second important fact for metallic minerals uh, is that metals such as chromium, platinum, nickel, copper, iron, these types of metallics precipitate often as sulfides. Precipitate as sulfides in a cooling body of magma. Metals like copper, iron, nickel, platinum, chromium precipitate as sulfides in a cooling body of magma. Therefore, they are often found as igneous rocks as well. They are found as igneous rocks. So metallics are generally found as igneous rocks and therefore are found in areas of strong tectonic activity. Within metallic minerals, there is a classification of ferrous minerals. Ferrous, the classification of something known as ferrous minerals. Something known as ferrous minerals. Ferrous minerals are found in iron ore, manganese, nickel, cobalt, chromite, these kinds of minerals. Okay, so iron ore, manganese, nickel, cobalt, chromite, these are what are known as ferrous minerals. These are known as ferrous minerals. So let's look at first. Let's look at mica. Mica first. Mica is non-metallic. Okay, mica is non-metallic. Okay, mica is non-metallic, and uh, in India, the location for mica is an area known as Koderma, district of Jharkhand. Koderma in Jharkhand. Koderma in Jharkhand is known for its rich mica deposits. Koderma in Jharkhand is known for its rich mica deposits. These facts, these names, these facts, try and internalize it. You should read it so often that you know it. Like for instance, right now, if any all of you on chat, if I say Vishakhapatnam, you'll say port immediately. Like you need to know that okay, Koderma meaning mica. That immediate relation needs to be there. Only then you will be able to quickly solve prelims questions. Today I'll make sure. Even if we have to finish a bit early, that we'll at least do questions, at least around 5-6 questions from human geography, because without questions, I think it's very hard to find that connect. Okay, so today we will do questions for sure. Then mica is also Koderma and Jharkhand is an important location for mica. Then Dharwar rocks. Remember we discussed Dharwar rocks earlier as well. Dharwar rocks are also where manganese, mica, these types of are found. These types of minerals are found. Dharwar rocks. Koderma and Dharwar rocks are important places for mica. What are the uses for mica? Mica is used a lot in semiconductor industry. Then it is used in construction of like crystals. Mica generally it is used for construction of because it's a non-metal with certain characteristics. It is used in like electronics industry as insulators. Yeah. So mica is particularly important, and for India, mica is also a competitive advantage because India has larger mica reserves than the rest of the world. Compared to other countries, India has relatively larger mica reserves. So before we move on, one important fact about what are the most mined minerals in India, and I think also in the world. The most mined mineral in India is coal. Coal is the most mined mineral. Coal is the most mined mineral. Second most mined is iron. Third is bauxite. So you have this first is coal, then is iron, then is bauxite. These are the three most mined minerals in probably the world also. Second, iron. Iron distribution in India. 95% of iron in India is located in states of Odisha, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, AP, Tamil Nadu. Basically, yeah, these states are where iron ore can be found in India. Iron ore can be found in states of Odisha, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, Goa, AP, Tamil Nadu. Iron ore. Odisha, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, Goa, AP, Tamil Nadu is where iron can be found. Then, in terms of production of iron ore, highest in the world is Australia. Highest in the world is Australia. Highest in the world is Australia. Second is Brazil. Second, Brazil. Third, China. Fourth, India. In terms of iron ore reserves, first in the iron ore production, first Australia, then Brazil, then China, then India. So I'm not entirely sure if India is fourth largest in the world or no. Probably not. I'm not sure exactly. But the important trend to remember is that important fact that will be useful to eliminate options in prelims is Australia is highest and China is much higher than India. China production is much higher than India. Okay, these are the two like trends you need to understand from this fact. In terms of exports, who are the largest exporters of iron ore in the world? Highest is Australia, then Brazil, then South Africa, Canada. Largest exports of iron ore in the world: Australia, Brazil, South Africa, Canada, and I mean, if you want to mention, then Ukraine. Ukraine is fifth. So, five largest iron ore exporters in the world are Australia, Brazil, South Africa, Canada, Ukraine. So, who imports it then? Who are the largest importers? So, China is the largest. China alone imports 70% of the world's iron. China imports 70% of the world's iron ore. China alone. Exporter is Australia, Brazil, South Africa, Canada, Ukraine. Australia, Brazil, South Africa, Canada, Ukraine are the largest exporters. Who are the largest importers? Largest is China. China alone imports more than almost 70%. 70% of world's iron ore is imported by one country, which is China. Even though China is one of the largest producers of iron ore, the demand for iron ore in China is so high that China imports 70% of the world's iron ore. That's how high the demand for iron ore in China is. So China imports 70% of the world's iron ore. Second highest is Japan. Second highest is Japan. And then Korea and Germany. So next is Japan, South Korea, and Germany. These are the next highest importers of iron ore. Now, like important factual point here is that countries like Japan, South Korea, Germany, they import iron ore to convert it into steel. They generally import iron ore to convert it into steel, and they export the finished steel to different parts of the world. Like you must have heard that Japanese steel, South Korean steel is known for its quality. It's known for its high quality. So countries like Japan, South Korea, Germany, they are large importers of iron ore because they convert it into steel, which is then exported to the rest of the world. So this is also an example of globalization, because iron ore is coming from the producer countries to Japan, South Korea. They're converting it to steel and then exporting it to different parts of the world. Next is Steel. Next is steel. So steel in India, there are some plants which were set up by with foreign collaboration. So just make a note of what these plants are. Rourkela and Odisha was set up with collaboration with Germany. Rourkela and Odisha was set up with collaboration with Germany. Then Bokaro. Bokaro was set up in collaboration with Russia. Bokaro was set up in collaboration with Russia. Bokaro, you all know, no? Bokaro is in Jharkhand. Okay. Then Bhilai. Bhilai in Chhattisgarh was also set up in collaboration with Russia. Bhilai is the oldest steel plant in India. Bhilai was set up in collaboration with Russia. Oldest meaning like oldest that was set up with foreign collaboration in this steel belt, steel iron ore belt. Bhilai in Chhattisgarh is one of the oldest. Okay. And Durgapur. Durgapur in West Bengal was set up with collaboration by UK. UK provided technical expertise to set it up in UK in West Bengal in Durgapur. Another important fact about the Durgapur plant is that Durgapur was part of the second 5-year plan. The plan to establish Durgapur steel plant was part in the second 5-year plan. And even the others were kind of figured. Like generally, the second 5-year plan, remember, second 5-year plan focus was on import substitution. Okay, second 5-year plan wanted to focus on import substitution and promote domestic production of steel, of capital industry. So as a part of second 5-year plan, these specialized steel plants were set up with foreign collaboration. In the fourth 5-year plan, new steel plants were set up. Okay, and these steel plants were largely in South India. So second 5-year plan focus was on establishing steel plants in the Chota Nagpur, in the iron ore belt, Eastern India belt. Fourth 5-year plan, the focus was on setting up steel plants away from the raw material, and therefore they were set up in South India. As a part of this, you had Vizag steel plant. Okay, Vizag steel plant which started operating in 1992. Then you have Vijayanagar steel plant in Karnataka and Salem steel plant in Tamil Nadu. These three steel plants were set up as a part of fourth 5-year plan. Fourth 5-year plan designed, like, had the policy initiative of setting up these three steel plants in South India: Vizag steel plant, Vijayanagar steel plant, and Salem steel plant. Okay, Vizag steel plant focus is basically a port-based plant, obviously, and this Vijayanagar steel plant uses indigenous technology, uses Indian technology and local iron ore, local limestone. Okay, fine. So next is like an important characteristic of manganese. Manganese is also a very important non-metal. An important characteristic of manganese. Manganese is used in the manufacture of special types of steel. Manganese mineral. The manganese mineral, element, metal, whatever, is used in the manufacture of special types of steel. So if you add manganese in the steel manufacturing process, it helps to harden steel. Manganese helps to harden steel. Manganese helps to harden steel. In India, where is manganese found? In India, manganese is found in Karnataka, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh. In India, manganese is found in Karnataka, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh. Karnataka, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh. India is one of the largest manufacturers of manganese. India is one of the largest producers. Not like you don't manufacture manganese. India is one of the largest producers of manganese. in the world. Okay. Next mineral is bauxite. Next mineral is bauxite. From bauxite ore, we can manufacture aluminium. Okay, aluminium is manufactured from bauxite. Bauxite is mainly found in laterite rocks. Bauxite is mainly found in laterite rocks. So where are laterite rocks found? Like you must have read in geography. It's there in NCRT also, laterite rocks, laterite soils. So laterite rocks are there in the coastal regions, in the coastal plains of India, and also in the hilly portions of peninsular India. So this is where bauxite is found as well. In the hilly regions of the peninsula is where the most amount of bauxite is found, because this is where you have lateritic rocks. Lateritic rocks which are found in the hilly ranges of peninsular India. So therefore, what are the states where bauxite is found predominantly? There is Bihar, MP, Gujarat, Odisha. Like this belt. Bihar, MP, Gujarat, Odisha are some of the largest producers of bauxite. So what are the important places related to this? In Odisha, it is Koraput. In Odisha, Koraput. In Odisha, Koraput. Then in Chhattisgarh, Maikal Hills and Bilaspur. In Chhattisgarh, Maikal Hills and Bilaspur. Chhattisgarh, Maikal Hills and Bilaspur. In Madhya Pradesh, Katni and Amarkantak. In Madhya Pradesh, Katni and Amarkantak. So notice how all of these places are hilly. Like Amarkantak is where rivers originate, Narmada originates. And therefore, Amarkantak, you also have like a hill, it's a peak. Or Maikal Hills also hilly region. Koraput is largely like a tribal region with heavily forested. So these places are also in that same trend of hilly regions of peninsular India is where most amount of bauxite is found. Apart from that, it's also found in the coastal belts, coastal plains where there is excessive rainfall. Okay. Next, like what are the largest producers of iron ore, of bauxite in the world? Largest producer of bauxite in the world is Australia. Australia is the largest producer of bauxite in the world. After Australia, you have China, Brazil, Guinea, and then India. So basically, important fact to remember is India is the fifth largest. India is the fifth largest producer of bauxite in the world. India is the fifth largest producer of bauxite in the world. Australia is the largest producer of bauxite in the world. China is second. China is second. So Australia, China, Brazil, and India is fifth. India is the fifth largest producer. Related to this, just a couple of other facts that China generally is also a very large producer of other minerals as well. Fourth one is a country known as Guinea. I'll send the spelling. Fourth is a country known as Guinea. China is also the largest producer of some other minerals. Just make a note of it. It's a fact. It's a very factual thing. It might help you in some answers. If it doesn't also, it's okay. Just a good thing to know. China is the largest producer of gold and pearls. China is the largest producer of gold and pearls. China is also the largest producer of phosphate and gypsum. China is also the largest producer of phosphate and gypsum. China is the largest producer of aluminum, largest importer of iron, largest producer of gold, largest producer of pearls, largest producer of phosphate, of gypsum. Okay. Then copper. What are the copper producing regions in India? What are the copper producing regions in India? So in Rajasthan, you have Alwar and Khetri. These are important copper producing regions in Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, you have Khetri and Alwar. Then in Jharkhand, you have Hazaribagh and Singhbum. In Jharkhand, you have Hazaribagh and Singhbum. So Rajasthan, Khetri and Alwar. In Jharkhand, Hazaribagh and Singhbum. In Madhya Pradesh, you have Balaghat. In Madhya Pradesh, you have Balaghat. In Madhya Pradesh, you have Balaghat. These are the copper producing regions in India. So Rajasthan, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, and these are the important places where you find these mines. Okay. Associated with tin is bronze. With copper is tin. Why? Because copper and tin together form an alloy known as bronze. Okay, remember Bronze Age? Bronze is formed by mixing copper and tin. So that's why tin and copper, like, we associate it with each other. Tin in India is only produced by Chhattisgarh. Tin in India is only produced by Chhattisgarh. In India, tin is only produced by Chhattisgarh. Tin and copper, I didn't collect any world facts and trends. If any of you have some trends, just send it to me and I can share it with the class, or I can add it to my own notes. Okay. If not today, then tomorrow, whenever you find time, whenever you do it. Okay. And last mineral we're looking at is diamonds. Last mineral we're looking at is diamonds. So there are two bands. There are two bands along which diamonds are found, known as the northern band as well as southern band. Majorly, there are two bands, northern band and southern band, where diamonds are found. Northern band includes Russia and Canada. Northern band includes Russia and Canada. So therefore, Russia and Canada are two of the leading diamond producing countries in the world. Okay. Then you have southern band. Southern band includes southern Africa states such as South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, and Australia. Southern band. Northern band is Russia, Canada. Southern band is South Africa, Botswana, Namibia in Africa, and Australia. So Botswana, South Africa, Namibia, which are all in southern Africa, as well as Australia. There is a third band known as the center band. There's a third band known as center band, but in center band, the diamonds are of lower quality and quantity. There's a third band known as center band, but in center band, the quality of diamonds is poor and the quantity of diamonds is also less. Okay. So what are the countries in the center band? You have Ivory Coast, Brazil, Venezuela. You have Ivory Coast, Brazil, and Venezuela. These are the countries in the center band, which are rich in diamonds. So in terms of production, who are the largest producers of diamonds in the world? Highest is Russia. Russia is the largest diamond producer. Then you have Botswana. Okay, southern band. Southern band is Botswana, South Africa, Namibia, as well as Australia. What is the center band? Center band of diamond production is Ivory Coast, Venezuela, Brazil. Volume of production. Who are the largest producers of diamonds in the world? Largest is Russia. Then you have Russia, then Botswana, Democratic Republic of Congo, Australia, and then Canada. Just broad trends. If you like know broadly that Russia is largest, Canada is also in top five, Australia also top five. In Africa, these southern states like the Democratic Republic of Congo, Botswana are also there. These are the largest producer of diamonds in the world. So Russia, Botswana, DRC, Australia, and Canada. So mining and minerals done. Let's move to agriculture. Let's move to agriculture. India is not very rich in diamonds. India does not have many diamonds. Almost all of Indian diamonds are imported. India has a very rich diamond polishing industry because of cheap labor. So Surat is one of the largest diamond polishing centers in the world. Surat is one of the largest diamond polishing centers in the world. What happens is the rough diamonds are imported by India, and they go to Surat. In Surat, they are all polished and then exported, or it is sent to Indian manufacturers who will make diamond jewelry. But Indian production of diamonds is very low. Okay, someone sent a message. The only diamond mine in India, the only diamond mine in India is in Pana in MP. There's only one diamond mine in India. Kolar is for gold. Kolar in Karnataka is for gold. It's not for diamonds. Kolar is for gold. It is not for diamonds. And only diamond in India is in Pana. Only diamond production in India is in. Okay. Now let's move to agriculture. Pana is in MP. Again, this I've not verified. This is just something someone has messaged on chat. But what you need to know is diamond production in India is negligible. It is very, very low. These are the regions. Globally, these are the regions where diamonds are found. Domestic production of diamonds in India is extremely low. Okay, there's a question which has been asked, which is not entirely related to the discussion, because why are major minerals found in Africa, but it is still poor? It is mostly a result of colonialism. Like first is colonialism, so you have exploitation of minerals and exploitation of resources and people. Second is that the Africa has also suffered from lack of technology and capital. So Africa does not have the technology to exploit these minerals effectively. So it relies on external investment, external technology, which also means that the wealth is taken by the country which is investing in Africa. So that's why. Okay. But let's finally just come to Africa. Okay. Let's come to agriculture. So agriculture, India. Let's first look at India. What is India like good at producing in agriculture? India is the world's largest producer. Again, these facts are important. Like just remember, largest producer, second largest producer, which what comes under what. Okay. Particularly in agriculture, every year there are questions relating to this. Like these facts would have also been very helpful for prelims last year. Prelims last year also agriculture, there were lots of questions. Okay. So first, agriculture. India is the largest producer of milk, pulses, and jute. India is the largest producer of milk, then pulses, then jute. These three things, India is the largest producer in the world. India is the largest producer of milk, pulses, and jute. India is the second largest producer. India is the second largest producer of rice, wheat. India is the second largest producer of rice, wheat, sugarcane, groundnut, vegetables, fruit, and cotton. India is the second largest producer in the world of rice, wheat, sugarcane, groundnut, vegetables, fruit, and cotton. India is also one of the leading producers of spices, fish, poultry, livestock, plantation crops. Spices, fish, poultry, livestock, and plantation crops. India is also one of the leading producers of spices, fish, poultry, livestock, and plantation crops. Okay, we look at the detailed production of agricultural crops tomorrow. Today, let's start with some questions. Let's start with doing some questions. I really feel like I've been promising questions and we've not been doing enough classes. Okay, yeah, let's start with something simple. Like these are the types of questions you can expect, and you should prepare according to these types of questions. Let me just start sending. Livestock is basically like cows, sheep, goats. These are all known as livestock. Okay, so send a question. Easy question, like very easy question to start with. Okay, nice. Yeah, everyone's right. Like it is A. It is A. Like well done. Let's look at the next question. Again, also agriculture related. Even this is an easy question. So most of you are getting it right. That yes, answer is D. But why are some people like getting confused and saying C? Like obviously, like if there is more land available, more fertilizers. Okay, I'll run you through the logic through how I would answer this question. Okay, and maybe it will be helpful for those who are not getting it entirely right. Okay, so like first, what you do is like which of the following factors influence fertilizer demand in the market, right? Now, if there is more land, more fertilizer demand will be there. If there is more area of land which is cultivated, that will also mean there is more fertilizer demand. So one and two are definitely there, right? So if one and two are definitely there, I can cancel out option C. I can cancel out option B, right? So I'm only left with option A and I'm left with option D. This is how I would approach the question. So now option A and option D, what is the difference? It is option number 4. Okay, point number 4. So will the cropping pattern influence the fertilizer consumption? Yes or no? Of course, my fertilizer will change if I'm growing palm oil versus if I'm growing rice. If I'm growing wheat or if I'm growing vegetable, my fertilizer demand will change. So 4 is also correct. So therefore, answer should be 1, 2, 3, 4. So just do it step by step and try and do it logically. Okay, this is another human geography question. I'll give 30 seconds more for people to attempt question. Not enough people are attempting the question. Oh, no question displayed. Okay, wait. Oh, I thought I'd sent it. Oh, wait, I sent it to one person by mistake instead of sending to everyone. Fine, just give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. Why is no one answering? Yeah, all of you have answered D. You are right. Some have answered B and A as well. So let me just clarify that doubt. But yeah, those who have answered D, D is correct. Okay. So why is the option D? Now, what is uh, the question asking? That land use pattern, which will affect it the most? What will affect the manufacturing, the land use pattern the most? How is land used in India currently today? Most of the land is used for agriculture. So you need to look at what is the transition in land use pattern from agriculture to something else. Okay, that will affect the biggest land use change. Now, if you if you increase service sector as compared to manufacturing, that will not affect land use pattern that much. So B is definitely wrong. If you change cropping pattern, it will only affect it slightly. But of all the options, D, if a society transitions from agrarian based society, India is still agrarian based society, half the world, India's population is still employed in agriculture. But if economy transitions from primary to tertiary, it will have the biggest change in land use pattern, which is why answer is D. So everyone who's answered D, you're right. Next question. Let me just paste next question. And this is also a very basic question, but it's a very important question. Again, I'll give you like 15-20 seconds more for all of you to attempt an answer. Okay, all those of you who have said D, you are right. But I see a lot of A and C as well. But correct answer is D. So if there's any reason for this question confusion, send it on message. Otherwise, I'll explain how I would approach the question. Okay. So the way I would approach the question is, firstly, that like what are the characteristics of green revolution? Just as a quick recap. Okay. What is green revolution focus on? Green revolution focused on increasing investment in agriculture. That was the main thrust. That agriculture in India has not seen technology, which is why productivity of Indian agriculture continues to remain low. Was the reason why green revolution was introduced. So what did they do in green revolution? They expanded irrigation facilities and they introduced high yielding varieties of seeds and crops. So how do you relate these two facts? These facts, I'm sure all of you have read, all of you know. What you need to do is take those facts and apply it to the statements which have been asked. Okay? Because again and again, I'm saying UPSC will not ask that direct fact. UPSC will not directly ask, did Green Revolution introduce high yielding varieties of seeds? You have to interpret that Green Revolution used high yielding varieties to then apply it to these statements. Okay? So high yielding varieties were used. That directly means that indigenous varieties were no longer used. High yielding varieties were used, meaning you use specific types of seeds, and all farmers were asked to use high yielding varieties. So two is correct. So two is definitely correct. Okay. Then because you started growing more rice and wheat, food consumption patterns changed because rice and wheat were now being grown in a much higher capacity. Okay. And after rice and wheat production increased, you also had PDS. PDS meant that ration shops opened and rice and wheat were being given to people. So food consumption patterns also changed. And lastly, that first statement. First statement is the easiest of them all. Because where was Green Revolution established? It was established in Punjab, Haryana. Punjab, Haryana, traditionally, did they grow rice? No. Until Green Revolution in Punjab, Haryana, rice was not grown. Even now, when Punjab is one of the largest growers of rice in India, Punjab does not consume that much rice. Rice, where is rice consumed? Rice is consumed in South India and in Eastern India. Okay. Punjab largely is a wheat consuming region. So rice was grown in non-traditional areas. So all 1, 2, 3 are correct. So all of you have answered 1, 2, 3, D are correct. So just see, like basically, confusion could have been in statements like indigenous varieties. Indigenous varieties of rice are not there only that much in India anymore. Only these hybrids, these specialized varieties, specialized seeds. Food consumption pattern means what food do the native people of the region eat. Okay, that's what food consumption pattern means. And in India, what is food consumption pattern? Eating rice in South India. Like rice you'll eat for lunch and dinner. That generally the and it is eaten like all times of year. Summer, winter, rainy season, rice is eaten. So this is the food consumption pattern in South India. What is food consumption pattern in North India? Eating wheat, eating rotis, eating fulkas. Okay. So that is what is known as like food consumption pattern. Okay, I'm putting the next question. Next question is relatively easy, but it can be slightly confusing. Next question is easy, but it can be slightly confusing. So make an attempt. Yeah, a lot of you have gotten it right. Answer is A. And I don't think any doubts. Okay, like some answers are also there D. So I'll just clear the confusion between A and D, which is that is there a government policy for crop diversification? Yes or no? There is definitely a policy for crop diversification. For the past 20 years, they have been trying for crop diversification. You had National Year of Millets saying grow more millets. You have plantation agriculture being promoted. You have we discussed corporate farming and commercial agriculture also. So definitely, like government policy for crop diversification exists. So biggest answer is A, like lack of mechanization and lack of land holdings. So most of you have gotten it right. That's a very nice thing. Next question. What? No question has been. Oh, again, I sent it only to one person. Okay, good. Like at least 80% of you have gotten the right answer from what I can see. So that's a good thing. It means all of you at least reading like your NCRTs. Fine. So the answer for this is B, footloose industry. Okay. Now I'll just explain for those of you who have gotten it wrong. What is footloose? What is sunrise? What is sunset? What are these terms meaning? Okay. So footloose industry is an industry which is not dependent on location. If the industry can be located anywhere, okay, if the industry is not dependent on location, if industry can be located in different parts of and different variety of places, that is known as a footloose industry. So for example, when we looked at iron ore and we looked at steel industry, where was steel industry located? Steel industry was located in Bhilai, in Rourkela. Why were they located in this region? Because it is close to the iron ore. We said that iron ore is present in Chota Nagpur. So iron is not a footloose industry. Iron is very dependent on location. Correct? So what is then the footloose industry? Footloose industry does not depend on location. Footloose industry, because it is not dependent on any particular raw material, and because the raw material is widely available, labor force can be located anywhere. Location is not important. That is known as footloose. So what is an example of footloose? Business process outsourcing, software, software employees. These are footloose industry. Because business process outsourcing, you can sit in Hyderabad and do US work. Okay. So these types of industries are known as footloose industries, where they can move anywhere very easily, where you're not dependent and constrained by raw material. We are not constrained by one location. That is known as footloose industry. What is sunrise? Sunrise means an industry for the future, meaning sun is rising on that industry. An industry for the future is known as sunrise industry. So according to India, like future sunrise industries are like biotechnology, artificial intelligence, computers, space. These are all the future sunrise industries. What is sunset industry? Sunset industry is an industry which is now perishing, which is now reducing in importance, which is no longer there. Like so, for example, like coal is a sunset industry because coal is being transitioned out. Oil is a sunset industry. Telephone manufacturing, okay, like landline manufacturing is a sunset industry. Okay. Example for footloose industry is software. Software industry can be located anywhere. Software industry can be in Hyderabad, can be Bangalore, can be in Eastern India, can be anywhere. So last question for today. It's last question is a very tough question. It's actually a tough question, and I'm giving you this because I want to see how you all attempt it. Last question is a tough question, but I want you all to attempt it. You need to at least attempt it once to see what your like line of thinking is. So like I can from what I can see, almost all of you have answered A or C. Okay. The correct answer for this question is C. Correct answer is C. But what I identify from this is that almost all of you know that A is correct. Like option one is correct. Confusion is in second option. Confusion is in second option about is India in paper industry wood positive or no. Okay. This is an extremely factual statement. There is no way of you knowing whether it is right or no, unless you know it. If you know it is correct, you absolutely know it. You will not think twice. You will directly attempt it. You will mark it and move on. Okay. If you do not know it, then you get very confused. Should I mark? Should I not mark? Is it A? Is it C? What do I know? What is the wood pattern? What is the cropping pattern in India? Is wood grown? Okay. But it is very hard to know this fact. Unless you have read this fact somewhere, you will not know it. This fact is also not there in any standard NCRT. So how to approach such a question? Okay, that is why I gave this question. So most people, what they would do for this question is not attempt it. Okay, most people would not attempt this question. Why? Because it involves terms. Wood positive a term I have not heard before. వుడ్ పాజిటివ్ అనే టర్మ్ ఫస్ట్ టైం చూస్తున్నాను పేపర్లో ఇలాంటి టర్మ్ కనిపిస్తే అటెంప్ట్ చేయడానికి కొంచెం భయపడి క్వశ్చన్ అటెంప్ట్ చేయము. ఓకే, బట్ వాట్ ఐ వాంట్ టు సే ఇస్ ఫర్ దిస్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్ యూ షుడ్ అటెంప్ట్. వై షుడ్ యూ అటెంప్ట్? అకార్డింగ్ టు మీ ప్రిలిమ్ స్ట్రాటజీలో ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్ అటెంప్ట్ ఎందుకు చేయాలి? బికాస్ యూ ఆల్రెడీ నో దట్ ఫస్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఇస్ కరెక్ట్. ఓకేనా? వెన్ యూ నో దట్ ఫస్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఇస్ ఆల్రెడీ కరెక్ట్, ఇప్పుడు చూస్ చేసేది రెండు ఆప్షన్స్ మధ్యలో, ఆప్షన్ ఏ గానీ ఆప్షన్ సి. ఓకే, కరెక్ట్. అందరు ఇచ్చిన ఆన్సర్ కూడా ఆప్షన్ ఏ ఇంకా ఆప్షన్ సి మధ్యలో. ఇఫ్ యు నో దట్ వన్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఇస్ డెఫినెట్లీ కరెక్ట్, ఆ సర్టెనిటీ ఉంది వన్ స్టేట్మెంట్ అనేది కరెక్టే అని, అలాంటి సర్టెనిటీ ఉన్నప్పుడు యూ షుడ్ అటెంప్ట్ ద క్వశ్చన్. వై? బికాస్ there's a 50% ఛాన్స్ ఆఫ్ యూ గెటింగ్ ద క్వశ్చన్ రైట్. ఓకే, అటెంప్ట్ చేసి రాంగ్ అయింది, కానీ స్ట్రాటజైజ్ చేసి అటెంప్ట్ చేసాం, కరెక్టే కదా? సపోజింగ్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ గివెన్ ఆన్సర్ ఏ, యూ షుడ్ నాట్ ఫీల్ బ్యాడ్. వై? బికాస్ యూ న్యూ దట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ వన్ ఇస్ కరెక్ట్. ఏ కాకపోతే సి అవ్వాల్సిందే. ఇప్పుడు వుడ్ పాజిటివ్ ఇండియా ఉందా కాదా వీ డోంట్ నో. Like wood positivity, it's a very factual statement that current India trend is that India is planting so many trees which are not being harvested. Paper industry lo కానీ ఆ ఫ్యాక్ట్ మనకు తెలియాలని అవసరం లేదు. ఇంకా ఛాన్సెస్ ఆర్ యూపీఎస్సీ ప్రిపరేషన్ లో అన్ని ఫ్యాక్ట్స్ తెలియవు కదా, కొన్ని ఫ్యాక్ట్స్ ఉంటాయి, తెలియని ఫ్యాక్ట్స్ ఉంటాయి. కానీ ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్ వచ్చినప్పుడు where you know that when you know answer is between two options, if answer is only between two options, ఎంతవరకు వీలైతే ఒక టాక్టికల్ గా స్ట్రాటజిక్ గా గెస్ పెట్టాలి. వై? బికాస్ there's a 50% ఛాన్స్ ఆఫ్ యూ గెటింగ్ దట్ క్వశ్చన్ రైట్. 50% ఛాన్స్ చాలు, యూపీఎస్సీలో 50% ఛాన్స్ చాలు. 4 ఆప్షన్స్ నుంచి 2 ఆప్షన్స్ ఎలిమినేట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ 50% ఛాన్స్ ఆఫ్ గెటింగ్ ద ఆన్సర్ రైట్, యూ షుడ్ అటెంప్ట్. ఎందుకంటే యూపీఎస్సీ పేపర్ లో మీరు లాస్ట్ ఇయర్ ప్రిలిమ్స్ పేపర్ తీసుకుంటే ఇలాంటి చాలా క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉంటాయి, వేర్ యూ కెన్ ఎలిమినేట్ 2 ఆప్షన్స్, తర్వాత 2 ఆప్షన్స్ మధ్యలో చూస్ చేయాలి. అలాంటి సిచ్యువేషన్ ఉన్నప్పుడు అట్లీస్ట్ మై స్ట్రాటజీ అండ్ మై అడ్వైస్ ఇస్ 2 ఆప్షన్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు అటెంప్ట్ చేసేయండి. బికాస్ సపోజింగ్ 2 ఆప్షన్స్ ఉన్నవి 20 క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉన్నాయి మీ దగ్గర. ఓకే, 20 క్వశ్చన్స్ లో 2 ఆప్షన్స్ మధ్యలో మీరు చూస్ చేయాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఆ 20 క్వశ్చన్స్ లో హాఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ కూడా కరెక్ట్ అవుతాయి. యు ఆర్ గెటింగ్ 10 క్వశ్చన్స్ రైట్ అండ్ 10 క్వశ్చన్స్ రాంగ్. దట్ ఈస్ అ నెట్ పాజిటివ్. అర్థమవుతుందా? లైక్ స్ట్రాటజీ. సపోజింగ్ యూ హ్యావ్ 20 క్వశ్చన్స్, 100 క్వశ్చన్స్ లోపల 20 క్వశ్చన్స్ లో 2 ఆప్షన్స్ మధ్యలో మీరు చూస్ చేయాలి. 2 ఆప్షన్స్ మధ్యలో మీకు కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ అనిపిస్తుంది. అలాంటప్పుడు మీరు ఆ 20 క్వశ్చన్స్ అలాగే అటెంప్ట్ చేసేస్తే 10 క్వశ్చన్స్ కూడా కరెక్ట్ అవుతాయి. ఆ 20 క్వశ్చన్స్ లో you will get a net positive. Okay, so which is why I think exposure to such type of questions is also important. I think I'll keep collecting these types of questions and I'll keep giving. Tomorrow we'll complete the rest of agriculture and I'll find some other questions that we can discuss from human geography.